I love what I'm doing and I believe what I'm doing. And this is what learning a lot of economics just won't teach you. Like you can be a really good at underwriting, you can be a really smart business person, but at some level what you need is a very compelling mission.
But here's the other question. You said it earlier. You have tenure. And when I hear that, there are a lot of people I speak to that are actually high income earners, just in general, and their life ain't so bad. And I find this a problem. In fact, I just released a video on this exact topic. I'm basically saying if you're a six-figure earner, you got a major problem if you want to be financially free because your life ain't so bad. My life ain't so bad, but I don't want to work for the next 20 years, but my life ain't so bad. So why throw it out the window? Why have to explain to your friends and family that you are about to embark on this entrepreneurial journey to be financially free and I'm going to quit my job? They're like, why would you do that? You're an idiot, right? So why go down that road? And in your particular case, you're a tenured professor, very similar. Why would you go down this route? What made you actually go down that route and overcome that huge inertia?
There are two big things, all right? And I'll try to not be as long-winded as I can be.
We
But
want to talk
one,
about some of the deals you've done, Alex, but this is an important question
sure,
because it
sure.
holds a lot of people back.
It does. I understand. There are two reasons. And I think that one you understand if you're just have an entrepreneurial mindset is there's almost no other option. But two, those people that are the high income earners, you're right, they have a huge problem because they have no sense of how fragile that income is. And I am fortunate to have been in a situation where I had to sleep in a car during graduate school and where I got denied one time on a housing application. I didn't make enough money to get approved for a rent controlled apartment. And I know that there is just no kind of stress like not having money. You just do not have the same kind of control over your destiny. You are not thinking about the people. You're exactly right. The people that are earning $150,000 a year, they have maybe never had to think about the kind of problems that somebody that has nearly nothing has to think about. And the people that have had nearly nothing, they're well aware of how fragile a high earning income is. Like a lot of those folks, they are one divorce, one medical emergency, one family member's divorce or medical emergency away, or one change in their boss's attitude away from not having very much. And they need to have a plan B, and not just that they need. It's actually deeper than that. It's not just that they need to have a plan B. They need to feel the satisfaction of being totally and completely in control of how much income that they produce, right? And this is the great thing about the United States of America. I have a lot of students in my office all the time that they're so paranoid about their GPA, what they're going to major in, like what the rank of the law school is they're going to get accepted to. And all I can do is think to myself, like, it just, if you can, if you can really learn to be a good entrepreneur and be self-reliant, like in the United States of America, the major, like what is printed on a piece of paper with your name on it, like just who convinced you that this has got so much power over your destiny or what you're going to be able to do in life? There's no limit. And you're right. The people that are comfortable they don't have the opportunity to confront that reality. And therefore they're a little bit blind to all the opportunity that there is out there at the same time. So what fortunately pushed me to not be complacent is just, I've been in a situation where I've had literally no money. I've been in a situation where I needed to support my siblings and my parents. And that was not fun at the time, but I'm grateful for that situation because I'm not complacent.
Yeah.
The second answer to that is, I love what I'm doing and I believe what I'm doing. And this is what learning a lot of economics just won't teach you. Like you can be a really good at underwriting. You can be a really smart business person, but at some level, what you need is a very compelling mission, like for yourself, for your life. And let me tell you why. I was in the airport a couple of weeks ago and I came across another professor that happened to be boarding up the plane that I was. And he's like, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm going to this town over the weekend. I'm looking at this hotel that's for sale. And he's like, how many properties do you have? How many hotels do you have? Like, when he's like, you economists, you're such capitalist pigs. Like, when is it enough for you? And I thought to myself, like, I barely knew how to respond to this guy, because I thought to myself, I never think about enough. Like, I don't have some hedonistic goal about, a bunch of Ferraris or big houses or these kind of things that you experience through your five senses in life. Like, these things are ultimately not motivating. I think to myself, well, I have the capacity to go out there and create more safe and affordable housing, and I can make the tenants' lives better. I can make the investors' lives better. And I'm excited to do that. I think that I'm good at doing that. And so I want to flourish. I want to develop those capacities of mine. And I want to make sure that I'm multiplying those talents that I've been given. And that is innately motivating to me. And so if folks haven't found out exactly what that is, and especially if they've never been broke, yeah, it's going to be very hard to break out of that comfy job.
Yeah, I find a lot of motivation also is just being able to control your time, I think. So as a plan B, it's not going back to every money, but it's also really time control. And the honest truth is, entrepreneurs that they quit their job, they actually work arguably harder than they did their own job. The difference is they control how they work, and they're not working for themselves. And that's very powerful as well. Now, I know you joined our mentoring program. You actually just said, hey, this is pretty cool. I'm going to need help. I'm going to work with a team of experts. And we typically obviously teach you how to find deals and raise capital. And you learn all those things, but you kind of put a twist to it. How did you change the traditional apartment strategy and make it work for you? What if 4 videos could give you everything you need to build $10,000 a month in passive income in as little as 180 days? I've proven it many times over, and so have hundreds of other people just like you. And one of the best ways we discovered to reach financial freedom is by investing apartments. Now, I know that sounds like super advanced, but the truth is you can get started today. You don't need years of investing experience. You don't have to have millions of dollars in the bank. So register for the free Masterclass Apartments 101 today and take that first step to really discover how you can build true wealth for yourself and your family. Let's do this.
I will do that. If you don't mind, I want to just go back for 1 second. For those people that are in that $100,000 a year job, that I think that we make this mistake often in our thinking. We think that if something is familiar, it's safe. And lots of things that are familiar are safe. But just because something's familiar doesn't mean that it's safe. And therefore, just because something is different, that does not mean that it's risky. Some stuff that's different is risky, but one doesn't imply the other. That's the fundamental breakthrough that I think those folks need. The different twist on it was, and I don't want to discourage anybody out there, but and by the way, I've attended a ton of your events and purchased different programs from you. I mean, starting maybe back in 2018 or 19, like right when I was still purchasing, 2 unit here, 4 unit there, 10 unit there, before I really was able to scale to large properties and syndication. I knew that's where I wanted to go. It took some time. And one thing that I was in kind of what was holding me back was, I know that in the business world, what you don't want to do is compete on price. Like, I would hate to be selling corn or soybeans or watermelon. Like, when you go to the grocery store, you never look at what farm your watermelon came from, because you don't care. All watermelon to you is kind of the same. So how do you get ahead as a watermelon guy? You got to compete on price. That's tough. You got to somehow be more efficient than the next guy, and they could probably copy you. You've got to have, so the way that a business really is able to not compete on price is they, one, either have some kind of IP, or they have a differentiated product. And they've convinced, maybe via marketing and positioning, they've convinced their customer that I'm worth paying more for because my product is different. Like, that's Starbucks all day long. The coffee is not that different. The environment's a little different. The experience is a little different. They've convinced you that they're different enough that you go to Starbucks and pay a little bit more than going to McDonald's. And so, applied to syndication and the multifamily space, I'm looking at a whole bunch of folks out there that are trying to buy the C-class property in the B-class neighborhood, or the B-class property in the A-class neighborhood, where it's mismanaged and it needs a few $100s. We can bump the rents of $100 or a couple $100 by doing some remodeling. And then we're going to crank up the value. We'll either sell, we'll refi, or both. And that's a great business model. But I was worried that everybody was doing that. And so I tried to do that. And I would say mildly successful in doing that. But as interest rates really came down in especially 2020 and 2021, rates are coming down, cap rates are going straight down. And I'm asking myself as an operator, like, what unique advantage do I have? What unfair advantage do I have? How am I going to get the off-market deal that is not passed on to the more experienced guy? How can I get better debt terms than the more experienced guy? How do I get my construction to be more streamlined than the guys that are vertically integrated in their construction? And one answer to that question is you just work harder, and a little bit of luck is required to just be the to be the first person to find that off-market deal, or just be at the right place in the right time. And there are people that scale that way, but I thought to myself, what I need is a niche where I'm not competing with everyone else.